Alright guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So today's video is watch what you say or they'll put you away. Yes, so here on my YouTube channel guys, I get a lot of slack, flack, whatever you want to call it, a lot of negative vibes from people. Everything from I'm not a patriot to I will turncoat quick when bad things happen. So none of that is true. Fact is, I've got some footage here that we need to discuss because this just happened in North Carolina with the whole hurricane aid after Helene. Threats were made, quote unquote, threats were made against FEMA workers by armed militia. So they stopped their procedures of going door to door and staged up in different locations because they were unsafe. They did make an arrest, by the way, and I have that video footage for you guys. But before we get into it, I do want to discuss something right fast. I see the comments here on my channel, and so does Daddy Government, so does the platform. And to think that you are not on a list and that this cannot happen to you, think again. When you leave comments where they come to my door to take my supplies, I'm filling them up with buckshot, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. That's what happened in this scenario. Except instead of online, the guy actually mouthed off the stuff that if they come to his door, and the reason I know this is because I actually have people in North Carolina that contacted me on this story. It's not being spun. It wasn't a militia group running around. It was one man that said, if FEMA comes to my house to take my shit, I'm shooting them. That's what was said. And he went to jail. They arrested him for that. Now he is out on bond. But let's go ahead and start clipping in. This started the other day, and first bit is the militia group.
FEMA crews in North Carolina were forced to relocate due to a reported armed threat against government workers, a story first reported by the Washington Post. Nicole Skanga has more.
As the nearly 65,000 residents of hard-hit Rutherford County, North Carolina, struggle to clear endless mud and debris left behind by Hurricane Helene, help has hit a roadblock. Out of an abundance of caution, FEMA says instead of going door-to-door, disaster assistance teams there will be stationed at fixed locations, while the agency looks into alleged threats against their personnel. FEMA says search and rescue is still underway and disaster recovery centers remain open. The move comes as the Washington Post reported an email by the U.S. Forestry Service to federal responders in Rutherford County, alerting them of an apparent stand-down after National Guard troops reportedly encountered armed militia, saying they were, quote, hunting FEMA.
So again, the very first reports was that militia groups had made threats to National Guard soldiers, military in the area. They said that we're hunting FEMA. Well, that story is not true, actually. That was spun by the Washington Post. The actual story, the actual truth is, one man said that if FEMA comes to his house to take his stuff, yeah, he's swacking them. All right, more or less. Well, let's go ahead and get into the video.
News, new details over reported threats against FEMA first responders. So authorities say they've arrested a man in connection with these threats that paused some operations in North Carolina, operations and outreach. CBS News Homeland Security and Justice reporter Nicole Skanga, we talked to you earlier talking about the problem. Now you're back on the stream talking about what the response is. What can you tell us about who was arrested?
Yeah, Reed, an update here. Authorities in North Carolina have arrested 44-year-old William Jacob Parsons of Bostic, North Carolina. We have the mugshot there. Parsons was arrested and charged with going armed to the terror of the public. He was armed with a handgun and a rifle. Here's what happened. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office says this arrest was made after deputies were alerted around 1 p.m. local time Saturday that a white male had an assault rifle and had made a threat about possibly harming FEMA employees working after Hurricane Helene in that disaster in the Lake Lurie and Chimney Rock area. Those deputies alerted officers with the local police department and other agencies helping in those relief efforts. That is when FEMA made the decision to issue its stand down to officials. And again, just want to reiterate here that search and rescue efforts are still underway and that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That is their spin on things, but I've heard differently exactly what was said. So take it for a grain of salt on news reports and things like that that comes out here on social media. You know, information I get and I present to you. I try to do my research best I can with whatever context I have available. But this whole story about, you know, hunting FEMA and stuff, that's not how this went down. So guys, when it comes to online and anything else, watch what you say, watch what you type, because they are watching you. All right, there's plenty of Rambos here that want to run their mouth, you know, straight up badasses, whatever. Now, I'm an ex-con, man. I've been behind bars. There's no place to go. When you get out, it takes you years to rebuild your life. Years. You lose everything. When you get out, you have nothing. You ain't got no one to help you. It's just you. You lost everything in your previous life. So, you do you. For those that are gonna lock and load, rock and roll, and all that good stuff, hey, it's great in the freaking movies. You know, I watch videos of people that hunker down in motel rooms. This is a recent one, actually. Hunkering down in the motel room, taking pop shots at police that were trying to serve a warrant. You know, he was in a hardened area. So what they do? They send in a bomb squad robot that can't be shot. You know, the guy tried shooting it. Knocked out the window, dropped tear gas and whatever other chemicals agent into the room until the guy had to come out, and they were waiting on him. You know, everyone's such a badass. You know, I admire the spirit, I admire the drive, but most of these that are talking this stuff is part of MIL Team 6. You're not a badass. I'm not a badass. I train as much as I can, but I know I'm not going to be able to take out a squad coming after me. Armored out, armored vehicles, training non-stop to swack your ass. But keyboard warriors, what are you going to do? So guys, when you see comments and stuff like that, do not allow yourself to get wrapped up in that, because it does put you on a list. Hell, probably watching YouTube channels like mine puts people on lists. We're preppers, we're preparing, we don't trust the government. Yeah, we're on a list, of course. Watch what you say. I watch everything I say because I've been behind bars. I know how the system works. It's a false sense that you have freedoms. Do I agree with it? No. And unfortunately, if something was going to happen to change that, it's going to have to be underground. Not here on YouTube. Not there on Facebook. Not on Rumble and Twitter or X. No. It's homegrown. But the problem is, homegrown stuff, you got moles in that sucker. You got people that talk a good game, but as soon as things go bad for them, they turncoat on you. They roll on you. They're happy to let everybody know what you're doing to get heat off of them. You know, the only group in that scenario I would ever be with is former military. It's a brotherhood. Your best friend Bob's cousin over there, even though he talks a good game, as soon as heat gets on him and his family, he's going to roll over on you. Yeah, I'm good with that. All right, guys, be safe out there. Watch what you say online. And, yeah, speak to y'all later.